Hello and welcome to the 5-year anniversary special video, where today we will be taking a step back and looking at all the videos we have put up over the past 5 years and more. And I am joined by Wolfbe7!
Hello everyone! You probably know me as Snowball. So over the 5 years, mostly over the 5 years, we haven't done much the first couple years. It has been amazing. We have almost 9,000 subscribers, and you guys have viewed almost 4 million views of videos. Like, those numbers just like boggle my mind that me and Yellow Pikmin just kind of joined us on the side and for fun, that there's an audience that actually wants to watch us play with plushes and play video games.
Yes, play with plush in the front of the camera. That is just the perfect way to put our whole channel.
So, I guess let's take a look back at the videos from the beginning. We started just kind of making any odd video, and we really didn't even start with plush videos in the beginning.
Yeah, it was basically whatever my interest was at the time. So like I was watching some of the Connect Mario Kart or, Pikmin Legos. And I actually had 2 videos before we did anything plush related.
Yeah, the very first video that we did was we made Lego creatures,
which we can watch a bit, and we are going to put these in the description if anyone's interested in watching them, right?
Actually, I think we should just leave them public so that anybody can go back, sort by oldest video, and check out the very original videos.
Okay, so if anyone wants to watch our cringe content, then they can go back and see it.
Exactly. But yeah, we started out just making Lego creatures.
And I don't think we actually have a lot of these Lego creatures left anymore, though I know there are a few. We do have a few of the creatures left.
Yes, we do have a few.
Oh, it wasn't the Meyer Cloth, but we had another one. It was
he's in the other video.
Yeah, so I think we should take a look at the other one.
And this one, we made up our own enemies for this one. The one that we definitely still have is the Sandy Cloth. Sandy Cloth.
I think he was back a bit.
There he is.
Quaggled
Sandy Cloth.
Quaggled Sandy Cloth. We still have him because we thought it was a genius idea. So yeah, Nintendo, if you're watching this, you want to hire us for enemy design? We got plenty of them.
We also like Mario Kart design, so we did the. This is probably this is our first video. And the idea was basically making an introduction like in Mario Kart 7, Mario Kart 8.
We also have a very wobbly camera. I think you could also see like a foot or a hand. I don't know.
It was a hand.
This one's not to the quality standards of our new videos, so there's going to be a lot of stuff that you may or may not have been intended to see.
Filmed on location at Changchong Desert.
Oh, we actually named it.
Soundtrack, Mario Kart.
Would have never guessed that one.
And then came our very first plush video, which was supposed to be a 3-part series, but it went so bad, we stopped even trying to make plush videos for a while. Like, we had hovering Bowser, and I only noticed it right away. It's like, why is Bowser floating?
Why is Bowser? Yes,
but
because
yeah,
I remember we didn't want to re-record anything, so you were like, "Oh, well, let's just put some funny text." Also, can we go back to the beginning where Bowser is introducing the items?
First, there is the Super Ball of Death.
I think that was actually kind of funny for how dumb it was.
Yeah, everything was of death. Yeah, and this idea we actually redid in a later video.
Yeah.
Because the idea was cool, but man, that first video is really rough. But then, Yellow Pikmin had this great idea for this short series of multiple episodes called The Lost Pikmin.
It was quite a genius idea, I must say myself. Now, when we do get to Lost Pikmin seasons, we are probably not going to be talking about each individual episode, especially because later they get spread out more. When we get to one, we'll talk about the whole season as a whole, unless there's a specific episode we want to talk about. Yes, and this was quite an iconic start.
Yeah, so Sparkles was created based off of the idea from the Pikmin short movies. There's the yellow Pikmin that goes after the shiny treasure that's hiding by the bulb orb in the tunnel. And the other funny thing is, in the Lost Pikmin, yellow Pikmin does not play the role of any yellow Pikmin.
Oh yeah, because you were both of them. There you can also see some great acting. You get the light on the purple Pikmin.
Yes, and the sound effects are all homemade.
I think we should go to the episode 6. So here, this is something that I don't think we actually explained a whole lot. After the cape is ripped off,
we should go back to the cape being ripped off.
Phantom Pikmin being like in the cape was inspired by I think it was Ultimate DS Fan, right? They had the radio Whiskapillar, and basically it would latch on to Pikmin on their neck, and it would control them. Which I think was my inspiration for that whole sequence. And we also didn't even plan for Phantom Pikmin to be in the series at the beginning. Originally, the purple Pikmin was just gonna be a normal evil Pikmin, but then we added Phantom Pikmin so that we could like continue the series.
Yeah, and overall, definitely our inspirations were for having like props and like an actual set. I think we borrowed that a lot from Goomzilla. We probably went a little further in detail as far as what they did. And obviously, Min Jake with Twig and Pick actually doing like a series for Pikmin plush videos. And I think also some of the early Super Wario Bros.
Yeah, we had an inspiration from a lot of different creators at the time, and not all of them were even Pikmin.
And at that point, we made the whole series, and nobody actually really watched it. Every video got maybe 30 views at the most. But we like making videos, so we just like went ahead. It's like, okay, well, now what can we do? Well, let's make some short videos that are just kind of like silly skits that are just random. And that's what started the Super Silly Plush Short.
I do want to see the first episode of Super Silly Plush Shorts because we reference it in one of our newest videos, the Bulborb Reviews Pikmin Traps.
Watch this.
We hear the Bulborb plays dead and waits for a Pikmin. Wait, he kicks him in the eye too? I didn't even remember that. We just did that without thinking about it.
Yeah, nice, yummy ball.
Yeah, I didn't remember that either.
I guess our thought process not changed a whole lot over the years. But then here's where things extend a bit more past what we did in Bulborb Reviews.
It was a trap. Ate me.
Also, I'm pretty sure I did the voice for the Pikmin in the beginning, and now you're voicing the ghost.
Yeah.
The consistency is just incredible.
But yeah, so we did that, and then I came up with the idea for the Purple Pikmin Brute Squad, which basically was just, oh, let's have, these purple Pikmin that are strong. They protect the people that are being bullied. And that's basically what they do. And then it was supposed to be silly, so we had to bring in a red Pikmin to be part of the Purple Pikmin Brute Squad.
Yes, and the name never changed. It was always Purple Pikmin, even though there was a red Pikmin.
Yeah, and basically it's because they include everybody. They really didn't care whether you were purple. And actually, they wouldn't even really care whether you're even a Pikmin to be part of the group. It's just that you want to help other people.
And then after that, we had the special, and then we had the second Mario Kart track.
Yeah, and notice our first plush collection video was a Mario one. Because I don't think we had enough Pikmin at the time.
And then we had Quest for the Purple Pellet and Captain Toad's Adventure. Those were like one-off videos that told a completely separate story.
Yeah, and I think that kind of started, like later we just brought that into like the Super Silly Plush show. But the interesting thing to note here is right when we were making these two videos, that is when the YouTube algorithm, or the audience, started watching the last episode of the first season of The Lost Pikmin. That was our first video that kind of took off. And that's why I went to Yellow Pikmin, and it's like, hey, people really like The Lost Pikmin. Do you have any ideas for a second season?
And then we got the Plasm Wraith. And little yellow Pikmin was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna do a series about the Plasma Wraith, and it's gonna be a big evil monster, it's gonna chase you, and it's gonna be awesome, and I'm a genius.
Yeah, and we got the...
And I was, because later on, the last episode of season 2 was like our best video every day.
For years.
Up until...
For years.
I think,
Up until about 9 months ago. It was always like our top video, like every day. Like even when we released new ones, it didn't matter. But yeah, you had the idea for the Plasma Wraith, which we ordered off of eBay. There's
yes, that's not our own plush.
There was somebody that was selling them. I think it was only like $25. Got off of eBay because it's just awesome.
Yes.
And then you had this idea, which is kind of like a horror type idea, even though you didn't really see any horror or scary movies or TV shows.
Yes, and that was like
then.
completely me too.
And yeah, so as far as story goes, the first season was almost all yellow Pikmin. The second season was almost all yellow Pikmin.
So I think you did a lot more directing in that one.
I did a lot of the directing, and we always split the characters. One of the reasons is it's really hard to have conversations with yourself. So we tried to set it up that my characters would talk to Yellow Pikmin's characters, so that it made it natural and easier, because we didn't do scripts. Like, we had an outline of what the seasons were and a general outline of what an episode was, and everything else was improv. Do you want a special treat, Yellow Pikmin?
Sure.
So I found in the old vault. So I have our original details for what this season was going to be. Season 2 was going to be called Phantom Pikmin's Revenge.
Yes, I do actually remember that vaguely. We had a title, but we never really used it.
And we called it the Plasma Wraith in here, but in the actual episodes, we just called it the Mysterious Life Form, which Pikmin 3 fans know. The Mysterious Life Form is when he's in like that blobby state with the gold square cube in him. And then he's a Plasma Wraith when he comes out. But because the Pikmin characters didn't know that, they just called it the Mysterious Life Form because it's a life form that's mysterious.
Yes, and I think we don't actually, like, as far as the lore of the whole series goes, Plasma Wraith is not the same as he is in Pikmin 3, and he does not have a mysterious life form version of him. So we kind of combined that aspect into the Plasma Wraith itself, as far as the whole chasing the Pikmin and being all creepy goes, and being pretty much invincible. So there we have the movie editions, and I see we actually released the second one before the first one. Then after that, I see there's Bowser's Quest to Reclaim the Throne, which never got finished.
Yeah, so the whole idea behind that one is we had knockoff Bowser plushes, and we ended up getting a official Nintendo Bowser plush. So the old ones were the imposters, and so the new Bowser, which is the official Bowser, had to reclaim his throne. And we interweaved it with some of the Purple Pikmin Brute Squad episodes, and actually some of the Super Silly plush show episodes, but we never finished. It never went anywhere.
There was a lot of stuff that was linking to that happening. And I know we also decided Ludwig was the one who engineered the fake Bowser so that he could have control over Bowser's Kingdom.
Yeah, and then do you also remember the other subplot that we had that we were thinking about a series?
The Goomba Revolution, because we had a Goomba Kingdom, and the Koopa Kingdom took it over and like enslaved the Goombas. So there were a few survivors that wanted to overthrow Bowser and get the Goombas back out.
Yeah, and there was a Goomba King that was living in exile. And I'd say a lot of that was probably inspired by the stories that you see in like the Paper Mario series, where, you know, Goombas actually have characters and there's different areas beyond just the Koopa Kingdom and Mushroom Kingdom.
And after that, there's our 500 subscriber, and then the Luigi's Mansion series, which I really like that series. I think that was a really cool idea.
Yeah, as you can tell probably already, with season 2 of Lost Pikmin having a lot of like horror, creepy elements, and then we go right into making a Luigi Mansion series. I think we kind of like that stuff.
And we really upped the special effects in Luigi's Mansion 2. There was a lot more, and while it wasn't any crazy video editing, there were a lot of special effects in those 3 episodes.
Yeah, we had a lot of practical effects in that. The last time I remember watching it, I think it had a little bit of a slow pace to it. But the lighting effects, because we made it dark and then Luigi would just have the little finger light, that still looks really cool. And we used a lot of string, a lot of thread to kind of like...
Yeah, so for like the
things.
floating skulls, it was all thread. And fun fact, I remember this, Luigi's vacuum cleaner, we actually brought a small dustbuster down into the basement and turned it on whenever he would use it.
Yes.
So that was a real sound effect. That was not anything we got off of the internet.
But yeah, then what, after that, we
It was
decided...
Christmas.
Yeah, we decided... By that point, we decided to do season 3 of Lost Pikmin.
Which I'm pretty sure that was like a major step up in quality of the videos.
Yeah, I think after we did the end of season 2, and probably actually after even some of these Luigi Mansion ones, that's when I think we understood what we needed to do to make decent videos.
At the end, the Pikmin break out and they all go for Phantom Pikmin. And the ending was great too.
Oh, I think actually out of all the endings, I really like the build up, and I think the payoff in the ending to this season was the best out of any of the seasons. Like, we just had such a good build up, and then especially that, what was it, the blue Pikmin? That's like, I'm gonna
smash your face
I'm
in!
gonna smash your face in. And just getting that hit in was, I don't know, to me that's just like a highlight. And it meant so much because there was so much build up, you know.
And Phantom Pikmin's final stand going into become Phantom Flame dropping in the water was also just great, unexpected.
Yeah,
You
and that
think
was all
the
you.
heroes have got Phantom Pikmin trapped, but then he pulls out one last trick and gets away.
Yeah, and that was all you. You thought of that while we were recording the very last episode. You're like, you know what Phantom Pikmin would do? He would go into flame.
Since I think before that we had kind of forgot. Oh yeah, Phantom Pikmin doesn't have to, escape with his fading. He can still move around, and I was like, oh, well he can possess someone else now.
At this point, we realized that just making the Lost Pikmin, like just only making those episodes one after another, after another, after another, that was burning us out. So if you notice, once we got the season 3 episode 8, like that one was a slog for us to actually get through and finish. And then we're just like, we gotta take a break. And that's when we got into Pikmin 2 hacking. So that's why there's like 2 episodes there before we actually finished season 3. And then we also decided, if we're doing these long series in the future, like we have to mix it in with other videos because it's too much over too long of a time to stick with one thing. And one more thing for season 3.
There's so much we gotta talk about there.
Well, just like with season 2, I had the document. So this was our outline for this. Originally, we were thinking Olimar was going to be in season 4.
Wait, what?
I don't know.
I did not remember that.
I don't know.
Oh, episode 6, point A. Wing Pikmin helps Fluffy deliver the letter. Did we not have Blossom's name at the time?
We did not. We knew that we had a Wing Pikmin, but we did not have Blossom as a character. And we did not have until we recorded that episode, we didn't even have the details of how they were going to meet.
So that whole sequence with the web was just kind of, we made it up.
It's like we sat down to record episode 6, and, you know, we started talking and be like, okay, well, how's it going to happen?
Also, another completely random thing. Blossom states that she had friends in the destroyed village with the web. I'm pretty sure we actually decided those other friends were the Pikmin that were trapped in the cave, the random ones, not the main characters.
Yes, but I don't think Blossom ever acknowledges them, or we'd go anywhere with that storyline in the future.
Yeah, 'cause I think we had forgotten about it at the time.
Yeah, which is gonna bring us to the point of what we decided after season 3, is that we were getting too many storylines that were intertwined and too complex that we needed to wrap up the main story.
Of course, season 4 doesn't happen until a while later.
Yeah, but we knew okay, the next season is gonna have to be the last main season, or we're just gonna have a train wreck of a story in the end. But some of the ideas was Phantom Pikmin was actually going to turn back into Icicle, a normal Pikmin, and he was actually going to be so angry at Mark for what he did, and he still had the power from the goo from the Plasm Wraith, that he was going to unleash it on Mark and, you know, whatever army and stuff that he had. That was one of our early ideas.
What is a big eyeball with tentacles? Like, where did that idea come
Darkron. Isn't that from Smash?
Darkon. Yeah, so the inspiration was Darkon. I remember that. What was the
because Captain Mark was going to bring another creature from the other dimension.
Oh! And we hadn't decided exactly what the other dimension was going to have at the time.
Yes.
After that... after the final episode, we had the reboot of Super Silly Plush Shorts.
Because there was a large gap between when we see episode 8 and episode 9. And to me, this is the first start of the Super Silly Plush Shorts that are actually good.
Yes, I think that's where the quality took off. Yeah.
But yeah, after season 3, we kind of took another break from Lost Pikmin, and we did a Super Silly. Yeah, we rerouted the Super Silly Plush Shorts. We did some more Pikmin 2 hacking. We did more Purple Pikmin Fruit Squad. And then we introduced my favorite character, Dr. Pikmin.
Oh yes, because that's where he was first introduced.
And the whole idea for this was, I went to the dentist. I'm like, wouldn't it be funny if a Pikmin went to the dentist? You know, because like they don't have like teeth or anything.
And then we invented the whole teeth thing, and that was weird.
And I think that was the first time that we introduced Pictopia as well. We created Dr. Pikmin, and it was supposed to be a silly episode, but both of us were kind of in a twisted mood, and we just made the episode kind of dark.
Yes.
Really dark and twisted. You know, you have this red Pikmin who is being forced to like physically change to something that he's not because like everyone else is doing it, and you know he asks why, and like nobody really wants to hear him out, and you know, and we added the creepy music and some of the creepy lighting, and it just turned out to be a very twisted episode. Oh, and this is where we brought in the Toad Bros.
Yes, the Toad Bros, amazing. I love them. They're hilarious.
They're just derpy, silly toads. And they're fun.
And then it looks like we actually did a lot with them, because we had 2 episodes.
Yeah, we did
back
two.
to back.
We did 2 episodes that were basically, well, they're back-to-back Plush videos. Then we did a Q&A video, and then we did a reboot, and then this is my favorite of the Halloween episodes.
That was a really good one, and I really liked the spider snake. Right? That was just fun.
Yes. Yeah, and then YouTube was
the end of the
disabling
world
comments. So that's when we started our Discord server, because we didn't know exactly what was going to happen with all of the COPPA changes, especially doing plush videos, which YouTube considers kids content.
Yeah, after that, I see we already started season 4, episode 1, where we finally introduced Captain Mark.
Yep. So Captain Mark, I love. That's another character that I actually.
Yes,
like
I love
a
Captain
lot.
Mark, even though I know you're not overly happy with the name. Great character, and I think that bringing him in for the final final season, along with everything else, really wrapped up the whole thing perfectly.
Yeah, and the thing I really like about season 4 is there's good, like, Captain Mark is a really good villain. So he's charismatic and likable, but he is greedy and evil. Like, he is a very evil character, but it's harder to see on the surface. And then you have Dr. Pikmin, who's not really evil. He really wants to do what's best for Pikmin. So he will do twisted and he will do evil things to benefit Pikmin. You know, he'd lie, cheat, experiment on Pikmin to make them better. So he's not really a villain, but he's definitely not a hero.
At this time, also, Phantom Pikmin was kind of falling into a more of a silly category as a villain. So having Captain Mark brought in a more serious and planned out kind of way of doing things. Since he took over the whole being the villain and Phantom Pikmin was more of a sidekick, we went back to having a more serious and tactical villain.
And I think the other thing with 3 seasons of Phantom Pikmin being the main villain, it's like we really had to change things up, or the whole series was gonna get old. Personally, there's 2 main thoughts that I have about season 4. I really like it, but it is really complicated compared to the other seasons, and it's really long because there's so many characters and so many storylines that we had to wrap up that it became a 3-hour behemoth.
Well, it was an amazing wrap up for the whole series. You had to know everything else to understand it. And after episode 2, we have Billy the Ballboard.
That's when we brought in Billy the Ballboard, which I really like that show. And
I think we may actually bring that one back because we have so many new characters.
Yeah, we'll definitely bring that one again.
And then after that, the Radioactive Pikmin. I love those 2 episodes, even though there's only 2 of them. The Radioactive and Mutant ones, amazing. They're hilarious, and I think that they also have that quirk to them with like the radioactive nectar, and
yes,
they were just totally ridiculous as well, with Phantom Pikmin even showing up in one of them.
Yeah, and then of course we got disrupted pretty heavily, like everyone else, with a global pandemic,
which sparked the birth of
the Blue
Pikmin in Quarantine.
But that was our response to it. So we had a couple episodes of that until we got back into the groups
and I do want to talk about episode 5 for a second. I really like that episode. The whole idea of the Grub Dog Cavern, I love it.
Yes.
And the Ballworm odor, that was funny.
Oh,
I also love the stone statues.
The stone statues is that's my favorite part of that.
That may be one of my favorite special effects we've ever made.
And it was actually really simple. I just took a screenshot of them walking into there. So we made sure that the plushes did not walk in front of the statues, so that I could just overlay an image. And the image was the plush Ballworms taken from that screenshot in grayscale. And then I made them, I think, 50% translucent, and I put a stone background to them. So it made them look like stone instead of plush. And it just looked really good.
Also, episode 8 and 9, the Submerged Castle.
Oh.
These, I think, other than the finales, are the highlights of the Lost Pikmin series. Those were just so awesome and really fun to record.
We got a whole bunch of gray poster board.
We really knocked the sets out of the park, and sadly, we never really got to do anything like that again. But those are some really cool sets.
And they were massive. Because
Yes.
each sub-level we built for real.
And actually, though we did have the whole sub-level built out, we didn't have enough gray boards to cover the whole thing. So, while you always see gray boards on camera, we would move them around depending on what angles we have.
And then we did the Twisted Halloween special. At this point, we're just doing Halloween specials every year. That was kind of weird, but I liked it.
Also, before that, we kind of skimmed over because in between the two Submerged castles, the Lost Pickcraft, Hill of Pikmin's epic Minecraft adventure.
Yeah, that was the first one where you're showing off some of your Minecraft skills of building a flying machine, going across all the end void to get to the end islands without killing the end dragon.
Yes, and you weren't there to see it, but I nearly died twice, and I told you about this. Yeah, twice. I pretty much would have been dead if it wasn't for quick reactions.
And then here we got caught up on the Among Us fad, and I think we did a very good representation of it. We did it in our own way, but yeah, and we had a lot of people actually acting in that one.
We had cameos from other members of the family.
Yep, and then Pikmin 3 Deluxe came out. Woohoo! Yeah, and this was actually probably the peak of the Yellow Pikmin channel.
But then in our Deluxe playthrough, we got back to the Lost Pikmin, making episode 10.
Yep. Yeah, and it looks like there's gaps between Plush videos, but there really wasn't. We released one of these Let's Play videos like every day or every other day. Like, we just went through and did a bunch. And then one of the cool two cool side videos that we did, which are also Minecraft related. We had Pikmin Plush Time, who's also known as Juice Snatcher. He built some Pikmin areas in Minecraft. So he let us tour those worlds. He did Impact Site, and then he did Forest of Hope. And that was really cool.
And there is the finale teaser trailer. I don't even remember we did that.
Yeah, we did a tease. That was our first trailer, actually. We never did trailers before. But just because of all the special effects in that last episode, like the video editing program that I had was having lots and lots of problems. Like it would crash regularly. And then we finished out the main story for Pikmin 3 Deluxe. We finished out Lost Pikmin Season 4, and then we had to split up the movies because it was that long. Yes. I mean, you can see that's a 3-hour movie if it was all together. So we split it into 2 videos. And then apparently something came over us and we thought that we needed to make a Valentine's video. So we did that. Yeah, I actually liked that one. That was a decent one. And then one of the most popular videos that we've had. There's another behemoth for taking up views. Yeah, this was definitely another behemoth. If the first video is definitely Season 2, Episode 8. Maybe some of the stuff from Season 3 actually was pretty popular. This is the second video that has boosted our channel. It's the Yellow Pikmin's Adventure Map, where Yellow Pikmin retextured some things, used redstone and some modding in Minecraft Bedrock Edition to make an adventure map. And it was an amazing thing to play, and apparently people like watching it as well. Yeah, actually, at the time, when I was making the mod for that map, I did not know anything about redoing models. So, all of the strange quirks with the models that you see, like the Bulborbs not having eye stalks, it was because I could not give them eye stalks because I had to work with the models there were. So like the Bulborb, I think it's like a Hoglin maybe? So I took off the head and just had the eyes on the face because I could not give them eye stalks. But now you know about Blockbench and have worked with some of the models that you can... And then... We had a pretty big gap until we did the next quarantine.
which also introduced Dr. Rockman.
Yeah, and I think it's because not a whole lot happened with like change in the pandemic. So, but at this point was the vaccine came out. So it's like, okay, Blue Pikmin's gonna get the vaccine, and then he can go back to, somewhat normal. Obviously, we know that just having the vaccine available with all the mutations and all the, especially in the United States, all the politics, it just turned into a whole mess. And so I just left it at that, and it was done.
But we really like Dr. Rockman as a character, so we brought him back for another video where we did a commercial
for his bargain
hospital. We did the making of that commercial because we could not get enough Dr. Rockman.
Yes, and then that led to the making of Dr. Rockman's commercial, led to the character of the director, who ended up making a documentary in which we did not know how to name this. We called it the Awful Plush Video because it was purposely just 100% improv, off the hook, kind of cringe video, and it's actually very funny, but it's definitely not as polished as a lot of the videos that we make.
And this video, the Awful Plush video, we did not come into it thinking it would be a video, but our story idea was like, oh, well, we have a camera and we're gonna record stuff, and that's why it's that's why it's kind of broken up, because there's only some parts that were recorded, because we were just messing around. But then we were like, this is becoming really funny.
Yes.
So let's record more of it and just like make it a video.
And then last summer, that's when you're like, hey, I have an idea for a Lost Pikmin season, but because we kind of wrapped up the whole main storyline, let's start with a limited scope of just, a couple main characters. It takes place in the same world, but in a different area. So they're in the Twilight River area. And it would really go into more of the lore and actually showing off the other dimension. Because in Season 4, you got to see like a brief glimpse of it.
Yes, and that was the goal of Second World. It was to shine light on the other dimension and really show the scope of what the other dimension was going to be. And I just realized we're calling it the other dimension. It's the dimension of the Wraith.
Dimension of the Wraith.
But we usually call it the other dimension because we don't want to say dimension of the Wraith every time.
Yeah, and the whole idea behind the other dimension of the Wraith is that in some of Olimar's notes, he mentioned about the Water Wraith potentially being from another dimension.
Yes, and its true form being anchored in that other dimension.
Yeah,
so
and then
we ran 4 miles with that idea and created this whole other ecosystem of creatures.
I think the coolest thing that came out of that is I really love the Portal Wraith. We made and the custom of the, the Pikmin raids.
Yeah, those are really cool too.
Those have, definitely I like making the custom plushes for that.
Though Second World was a really big stretch from the base Pikmin format. I think that would be my biggest complaint with this whole series.
I am very happy, like, views wise, people seem to have taken to Second World. And I know there's always lots of comments of like, we wish we could see those characters again. And they're gonna come back.
Yeah,
but we really needed to take a break from their stories and still explore the Lost Pikmin world, but in a way that's a little more straightforward story-wise. And that's where I do think the Lost Pikmin Second World, it has the best self-contained story from beginning to end. The pacing's really good. The story's really good. The production quality is better than most of our other stuff.
I don't know if I mentioned this. Second World is definitely at the top as far as my favorite seasons go, just because of the quality of the story and the special effects and the custom stuff that we did. It was just amazing everything we put into it.
Yeah, I know we
Then
did.
after that,
That's where
we
we
had
got
another
Sunny and Rain.
yes, I think that's where we
Introduce
really
more
started
characters.
to take off with random side characters that we really liked.
So we did the Halloween one, which was dark and ridiculous, and then we did
2 hacks.
some more hacks.
And then
Louie and the
Louie
Lazy
and the
Pikmin,
Lazy
which is
Pikmin.
also silly and dark.
And we got the Louis plush, so we had to do something with him.
And
And then we also introduced the Lazy Blue Pikmin, Gil, and Buffman, which I really love those 2 characters, even though it's kind of sad Gil's dead.
I think we should bring him back anyway. I like him so much. Yeah, and then we played some holiday themed ones because it was around Christmas. And then I really like this miniseries.
Yes, that was a
Christmas
great
trilogy.
miniseries, which was not even planned to be a miniseries. We just started off making the Christmas party, and then we got these characters we really liked. What was it? Mary?
Mary. Or
And
I
the
call
kid.
it's a mom min.
Yes, we call her Mom.
Mom
Min.
min.
But we thought those were really funny characters, so we brought them back for a part 2, and then a part 3.
Yeah, and also, definitely dark humor in there as well, because
Yes.
Blizzard wished he had another family, so
And
that's what he got for Christmas.
And Hale with his scissors trying to cut Avalanche and cutting Blizzard's flower off. And then we had the genius idea of Bulborb Review.
Because we were very lucky to get, we live in the United States, and so in Japan they released these Pikmin gummies, and the only way to get them is to import them, which if you go to eBay and stuff, they're really expensive, but there are a few Japanese stores that were selling them, and I think we ended up, it was less than $2 a pack. We bought in bulk, we got a couple boxes of them, but we were able to get Pikmin gummies, and it'd be like, wouldn't it be cool if a Bulborb, eats the gummies and reviews them? And the video just made itself.
Yes, it was hilarious, and we really liked the whole format of Bulborb reviewing things and eating the gummies. So then we later turned it into a series with the other Bulborb reviews episodes.
Yeah. And we had to do the obvious thing, which is he'd eat the white Pikmin and die. And now we did do a callback episode, The Lost Year Grub, which had all the original Lost Pikmin characters in it. And
Sadly, something went wrong with the
yeah, it's
recording
kind
and
of
uploading.
the actual video is a little bit jerky. Overall, I really liked that episode, and it did give a little teaser hints to the next season of Second World, because some of the main Lost Pikmin characters are going to be in that season whenever we get around to starting it.
Yes, and they were called to Pictopia. Which, I mean, it isn't too clear that that's calling to the Second World.
Yeah.
But we're revealing it now. It is.
Yeah,
And then we had
and then we brought in
Bubble
Larry.
Larry.
Another derpy captain. Because
Which
all
we
of our
liked
captains are derpy except for Mark.
Yes. Though, Louis wasn't derpy.
No,
Louis
Louis
was-
was dark too. Louis was dark too. He was not derpy. So either you have to be dark and evil, or you have to be derpy to be a captain in our videos.
Yes.
And then we wanted to do a new, fresh series that is more like get rid of all this extra stuff and all this extra lore that we
Because
created,
the
and go
other
back
dimension
to
was just so complicated that we couldn't have new people come into a series with the other dimension. Because it was just so far-fetched from everything else in the Pikmin world. So we took a step back and made a series that was purely focused on the Pikmin formula. Now, I will mention, Distant Island is still part of the same world as Lost Pikmin and Second World. They are not separate worlds.
we're still working on that one with summer and stuff. It's just been a little bit harder to record Plush videos, which is why you're seeing some more random stuff, like the Labyrinth and our amazing outdoor episode, which was
Yes.
not planned at all.
Because, we were just going on a little vacation type thing, and we were like, you know what? It would be funny if we make a video, but it's outside.
And the biggest thing with outside is, one, there's other people there, and two, it's dirty. And these are plushes that get dirty
And
easily.
we're a bit more careful than, like, say, Marina Bros. We're not gonna, like,
Throw them in
jump
the
or
ocean.
kick them in the water. We also had the Grub Dog Labyrinth, which we had a decently big gap between any sort of hacking stuff.
Yeah, it was a
I
pretty big gap, because these other ones were ones that we played. We did not actually make those.
Well, I think Grub Dog Labyrinth was really cool and a really fun one to make.
Yeah, we took a lot with the last couple that we've made. We've taken a lot more care into the design, like actually playable design of the level, which takes a lot of time for level design, which you can't really see necessarily in the end product as well. And I think
that is the last video at the current time we're recording this video.
so. Yeah, it's been an amazing 5 years in particular. That's when we started making videos regularly. You know, we did every couple months or something like that before. But yeah, we've been making videos regularly for 5 years. And 2 years ago, I spun off my channel mostly to do like Let's Play type videos that are, you know, it's a lot easier just to sit down, play Pikmin, and record an episode.
Yeah.
Things that are existing. No matter what, in the future, I know that we're always going to be making videos for probably forever. And we definitely still have lots of ideas for plush videos, and we like making those. So as far as I can tell, into the foreseeable future, we're gonna keep on going, and you know, definitely make more plush videos. Probably mix in, you know, some other videos as well. Like we
may have some
been.
more Pikmin 3 related stuff going forward.
Yeah, we'll definitely continue the Pikmin 3 hacking, and maybe some Minecraft stuff, but that will probably be not on this channel. All right.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching,
Yeah.
and goodbye.
All right. Thanks, everyone.